I'm pleased to yield 5 minutes to the distinguished gentleman, Mr. Kelly, a very important member of the House Ways and Means Committee and someone who has extensive private sector experience.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my colleague, Dr. Boustany. Before we came onto the floor, we were in the cloakroom debating or talking about what the debate was going to be, and I thought it was going to be about what was actually happening today, and not a scientific debate, not a debate about what people believe or what they don't believe, but on the reality that the President proposed $10 a barrel of oil. That would be translated into, that comes out to 25 cents per gallon at the pump. Now, what do I mean by that? What I'm talking about is when hardworking American taxpayers go to fill up their car or their truck, it's going to cost them 25 cents more per gallon. It also translates into everything that they put on their backs, that they put in their mouth. Every aspect of life is going to be increased. Now, keep in mind that while there may be some kind of science that we want to turn this debate into, here's the facts. Here's the facts. Middle-income Americans, lower-income Americans have seen a drop in their wages, a significant drop in their wages. Last month, we saw that we created one job for every 8,000 Americans. And so we talk about today, we need to talk about climate change. No, here's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about real change in the marketplace. We need to talk about how we're hurting the American economy. We need to talk about how we're eliminating the ability of America to compete in a global economy, an economy that I just don't want to participate in, but I think America should dominate. An America that is so blessed with so many assets. And while we worry about all the energy above, let's not forget all the energy below. Let's not forget what America's strongest card is to play, and that is energy self-sustaining. We are able to do that. Why in the world would anybody think that by adding $10 a barrel of oil, somehow that's going to help the climate worldwide when we know that we're the only ones proposing this? And other people around the world are looking and say, you know, I can't agree more with the ideas. Because we compete against the United States, and I would love to be on the shelf with a product that costs more than the one we're putting on the shelf. And say that America is hurting America. America's policies are hurting everyday Americans. And if we truly want to make America great again, let's make America great again for every single American. That is not a political aspiration. That is a responsibility in America's House, and that is the House of Representatives. Our sense that somehow this would be positive is absolutely wrong-headed and wrong thinking. It just doesn't work that way. Why would we sit here and debate this today? Because we know it's going to hurt every single hardworking American taxpayer. It's going to add to our cost of living. It's going to increase the cost of everything we consume. And we're going to do it in the idea that somehow the rest of the world will follow suit, and we know they won't. What they will do is look at us and say, you know what? Let's take advantage of America's wrongheadedness. Let's make sure that we're able to grab more of the market, the global market, because America continues to hurt itself and hurt its everyday citizens. My goodness, this is America's House of Representatives. We do not come here representing ourselves. We come here representing 705,687 Americans that live back in our district. We do not come here just representing Republican policy and Republican agenda. We do not just come here representing Democrat policy and Democrat agenda. We come here representing America. And if we cannot get it through our heads that at the end of the day, the policy that comes out of this town, a town that is awash in prosperity, good jobs, great restaurants, and I've never seen a town with more cranes in it. I'm talking about industrial. I would love some of my constituents to walk back home with me and go into the cities and the towns and the little villages that I represent. And you tell those people things are really getting good. We're on the right stage. We are on the right trajectory. We are going to become good again. But the question is when. And I would just suggest that, and I said this earlier, you cannot continue to put the burden of these policies, well-intended though they may be, on the backs of hardworking American taxpayers. Men and women that get up every day with one resolve and one resolve only, and that is to take care of their families, to build a better community, to build a better life. Why in the world do we have to waste time debating something today that can be debated elsewhere, but we come here today expressing a sense of resolution that the president's ideas in this budget are absolutely wrong for every single American? We can debate these things later, but we have to come to agreement at some point here that we just don't represent our parties, we represent people. That is far more important than any party that we represent.
Mr. Vane is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the gentleman. And look, I've watched it. I've only been here 5 years, but I come out of the private sector. I never ever thought I'd be serving in Congress because I never ever thought I'd have to. I thought people would come here representing me and my family and my community and my state and my nation, and that they would do the right thing. And I don't say that they don't think they're doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, the final results don't look very good. In a nation that's quickly approaching $20 trillion in debt and burdening every single American taxpayer with more and more cost of being here while not increasing their opportunity, I think we need to take a hard look, take a look in the mirror, and understand that it all changes. It all starts with each of us. We can change this. We can make it better. But we can't make it better by putting a heavy burden on our taxpayers. It just doesn't make sense. As I said earlier, America can dominate a global economy. Just participating isn't enough. And I would just suggest that that is all possible in a land that has been so graced by gifts from God that make it possible for us to do that. The only thing that can keep it from happening are policies coming out of Washington, D.C. I thank the Chairman, and I yield back.
Gentleman, time.